Hey everyone, my name is Rena, and today I will be teaching you how to make box braids in Vroid. So let's get into it. Alright, so we are using the old beta version of Vroid just because I'm going to use a lot of freehand groups, and I do find that the old version does that better because it actually displays what you are going to be looking at in terms of a hair strand. So since we are creating box braids, I actually would like to see how the hair strand is going to look like. So that's why I prefer to use the old version versus the new one. And it's an easy transfer. You can always transfer once you're done creating your style, transfer it into the new one, and then you have your preset. Okay, so I want to do box braids, but I want to have it wrapping the hair to one side. As you can see, I've already prepped my character. She's currently bald, rocking some baby hairs. I do have a few sample baby hairs up on my booth site, so if you want to grab some baby hairs, if you are not so keen on making them for yourselves, I'm pretty sure I have this exact one on my booth. And then once I make this hairstyle, I might put it on my booth as well. I know I do have another one that I'm supposed to put on there, and I promise I'll get to that. I just have a lot going on. Okay, so I would like for this to be... Okay, how about we make it a little longer, but I'm not going to increase the points because I only want it to be a certain amount of points to work with. So I'm just going to drop them and shape the points how I want the hair to lay on this character. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I always have to sneeze when I'm recording. Thank you. Okay. And now I'm just going to shape and mold the mesh around the character's head. So, of course, as it's standard for my practice, this is all trial and error. I did not plan this in advance and then try it and then show it to you guys. That would be too organized. I don't work like that. I never am that organized to do that. So, yeah, you're just gonna watch me figure this out. Okay, so now that we have the points where we want them, vaguely, okay, cool. So you can kind of see how it's going like this. I think I will give myself some sample lines to work along with this hairstyle. So obviously with this hairstyle, you're going to need to work in layers. And to make braids, you do need... I'm going to make them medium size because ain't nobody got time to do all these little tiny ones. So let's go. So this is the center of the head. Thank you for the parting. That I made it a little bit easier to determine where the center is going. I love how I said that I was going to change the hair, and I totally did not. Thickness, go down that way. We're gonna delete that previous one that I made. I am using a drawing tablet to make my life easier. So for those of you that aren't, you can still do this without a drawing tablet. It's just going to be kind of a pain. So we're going to do one here, going down. This is just my map. Yeah? Okay. I think that can work. Okay, so let's get started with the baby hair not baby hairs, oh my goodness. Let's get started with the first braid. So I'm going to make this braid even smaller. I'm going to hide the other 3. We're going to work with just this one. We're going to go back to the draw mode, but I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to change the shape of the hair. So this is why I like having this, so I can actually see how big it is. And then you can see my curvature down here. I'm going to bring that down. This is in the new one, this curve. So that's nothing new, or old, or unattainable. It's detail there. It's just this part. I don't know why they took that out. Like that, honestly. Question that every single time I use the software. Okay, so we're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, and I'm gonna basically repeat this process all the way down, and then we'll edit it after. So I'm just gonna hide this one hair and then continue on, yeah. We got our first braid down. So basically all you would have to do is just edit it by going to this point here. You're going to click on the control points and then just kind of manipulate the points to how you want them to wrap around each section of hair. I've done braiding video hair tutorial thing on here a few times, so I'll put a link up in the iCards above so you can see other variations of how I did different hairstyles with like the same method. I'm obviously going to fast forward through a lot of this so you guys don't get bored of me creating this. Okay, so just like this second braid I just did off camera, I'm probably going to do the rest of the hairs using the same technique on this one side, and I'll come back to you when I finish at least this half of the head portion, and then I'll show you how I go into the actually, you know what, scratch that, change that whole idea. I will show you right now how I go from this side and then how I'm going to wrap the hair around on this side, and then I'll come back to you when I basically finish the first layer of hairs, and then after that I will show you what I plan on doing with the hair underneath, because there is a bit of a space here. I think I would like to put a few braids underneath, but let's get started with the other side. So basically we're following the same principles of creating little C's down this side of her head, and then we're going to wrap it behind the ear and probably going to go down this side of the back into this form and fashion. So let's do that, and we're just going to get started with this one. So I kind of made the first few really small just because as a starting part of your braid you kind of want it to be a little thinner. And then I will show you what to do with the parts after, because parting of the hair does make a difference, so you'd want to make sure you have that. And it's doing this weird thing where it likes to start the braid way after I clicked, so it kind of looks a little wonky. It's driving me crazy, so it makes it have more work for me to do. And then to make this process go a little quicker, like after you kind of get into like the middle section, I'd say probably about like here, I would probably put on mirroring or something and see if you can just make it a little faster, or else but I kind of made this hairstyle where it's going to be a little harder for me to use mirroring. But ideally, if you're doing braids, it's save you a lot of time if you actually use mirroring. What the hell is going on with this thing? Oh my god, that is driving me crazy. But yeah, see, same concept. Yeah, no, I'm gonna definitely pull this here. I was onto something with this one. Definitely onto something with that one, because now she looks like she has a whole bald spot. But yeah, we are gonna put like some hairs coming in here, so we're gonna okay, I'll show you how I fix this. And this is what I mean, trial and error. Like I don't plan for this. I didn't come in today being like, I tried this whole hairstyle out and I have it all set and ready to go. That would be smart. I did not do that. This one's too short, so I'm going to extend. So that way I have another loop. So if that ever happens, that's how you do that. You just press the retouch tool and it gives you a whole other point to work with. So we're gonna come forward because we noticed that it looked a little odd. Alright, so this is how I fixed that. So I just pulled it in closer to the head. I'd probably readjust this part, maybe add some more baby hairs at the front. Obviously, it looks kind of funny because her baby hairs are black and her hair is currently blue. I would eventually change the hair color after I have finished doing this. But yeah, so that's basically how you would have that. And then you just continue this braid all the way down as such. So I will come back to you when I finish doing all the other braids. Hopefully that doesn't take me too long. I will let you know how long it actually takes me to do this whole thing. So that way you guys get a kind of a feel of how long it really does take to do these hairstyles. And I'll be right back.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I said I was going to come back to you when I had all the braids done, so this is what it looks like when it's completed. I also said that I was going to give you an idea of how long it took, and I honestly took a couple of days because a lot of things happened in the past few times as I was doing this, so I would say approximately about like 3 hours. So what I discovered is the more hairs you have in one group, the slower the software gets, and that's why it took me forever, because like look how many hairs are in this one group. Too many. That's the answer, too many. Okay, so let's show you what I did. Oh my god, there's so many. So I made 3 groups of hair, so I'm just gonna hide the layers. So in the first group, this is what you get from just this point of view alone. It looks pretty good. So like I said, I had the main one going down. I also just added this little one here just to help frame the face. And then I wanted to create some layers and depth. So I also knew I was going to run into a bit of a problem since I was going to start at 2 different points. So this area would have needed its own layer, so then I added in the second layer here, and I wanted to save myself some time, so I turned on mirroring, and that's why it looks like that. And then I added in the third layer just to fill up that gap. And then you can just kind of like move it so it's not as straight, but I just kept it as such because I didn't really care too much. I do like how there is different layers there, and then there's different layers here that you can see. But that's basically how you make braids in a nutshell. So now, when you want to add in the bone work, you're gonna take one hair, and you're just gonna go through the whole thing. So you have to click on each individual thing. There's a lot of bones, so I'm not that surprised. There's a lot of hair strands, I should say. Basically go through that whole chain that makes that one braid. And then you're going to create bone group. Yeah, okay. And that's basically how you create the bone work for the hair. So I'm going to come back to you when I complete all of them. Yeah, so I have it going up to here, about like by the chin, and so that way this part lays flat. Pretty much did that with the whole nape of the head, so wherever the lining of the head, that's kind of where it goes, and that's where it would. It's pretty much exactly where this part starts. Yeah, so that's how all the lineup of the hair there. And then for final touches, so you can see in between the hairs, so it depends on what kind of hair color you are going with. You would want to draw in your hairs. You'd want to have like little part lines, so you'd go into the body and then go onto the skin texture. You see where I'm blocking, which I'm going to totally move myself. You see right there, yeah, right here, that's where you're going to be drawing your little parting lines, and then kind of do the same going in the other direction. Just draw into the hair. So you could either do this before, but I think it's a lot easier to do it after. I have seen some YouTube videos where people do it before, but to me, honestly, it makes more sense if you do it after, because then you kind of actually see where your hair ends up, and it's better for you to line up the hairs better. I don't feel like this one's necessary. Okay, so in another layer, because this is just more for the part, before I go to anywhere else, let me fix this one here. Lost my cursor. Oh, that's why. That one is a different story. Okay, and then here we're gonna add another layer. I'm gonna take that same color, but I'm gonna make it a little mystical. I'm zooming out. Hello, anytime. Okay. You just want it somewhat close to the color that you're using. I'm gonna add some depth. The back here. And then obviously with the baby hairs, you want to do the same color. Okay, so I just added little hairs around the perimeter of the head, so kind of like underneath here, to go with the baby hairs. And then when I add back the hair, there you go, you can see it kind of looks like it's being pulled up in 2 braids. I don't know what the hell happened here, so let me just fix that. Why does she have that on her neck? Anyways, so that's basically all there is to that hair tutorial. That took me ages because my computer was having some moments. That should not take that long. Normally it does not take me that long. It really doesn't take that long to make. I mean, the hair itself, yes, it does take quite some time, especially if you're doing braids, because you have to do this like little loop-de-loop thing going on here. But to be able to just draw baby hairs, that should honestly take you a matter of seconds. But my computer was having a moment. But anyways, so that's basically all you have to do, and I hope that helped you guys for the ones who wanted to know how to make braids. Honestly, you just do the same technique and put in any style that you want. So if you wanted one to kind of wrap around, like you see how this one's kind of coming up there, and if you want like a little thing in the back where it's like pulling back there, just mold your mesh to how you want it and then kind of just loop it. I will see you in the next one, and I hope to see you in our next movie date. And then give me suggestions for other Vroid hairstyles. I am not done with those wings. I still plan on doing some animation with those wings that I did a while back, but life has been kind of crazy with school, work, and moving, and being sick. So once everything kind of tones down, I will get more onto that. Just because I would actually have to relearn how to do everything. But I hope to see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.